In this lesson, we're going to learn how to manipulate the data in a layer. So let's find this really useful layer called the natural events in Canada. So click on Add, search for layers, and remember it needs to be in ArcGIS Online. So in this case, it's natural events in Canada is what we're searching for. I don't know why I can't click on that. And this first one here by Esri Canada Education is the one that we want to add. There's a lot of data packed in this one. And what's interesting about this layer is it's actually multiple layers. It adds all 4 of these layers to our map. And we don't want to work with everything at once. So let's turn off some of these existing layers that we have. We'll start off with earthquakes. So we can see that the earthquakes are plotted here, but it's not very useful data because the size or the magnitude of the earthquake is not particularly visible given this format. So we've got a magnitude 5 earthquake here, but it's the same size symbol as, for instance, this little 3.9 over here. So what we want to do is create a graduated symbol map. So when I click on the layer, you can see this mini toolbar that appears underneath it. And when we click on the change style button, which I'll just go back there a little too quick. This circle, triangle, square, if you hover over top of it, it's called change style. When I click on it, its default position is just to show the location of an object. But what I can do is I can change that to magnitude. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to figure out what each one of these short forms stands for. And what you'll see now is it's redrawn the map using different size symbols for greater magnitudes of earthquakes. It's important that you click Done when you're finished, otherwise it will not keep the changes. We can also go in and, for instance, in the case of storms, so we'll just turn on this storms layer, click on the change style, and in this case, we're going to change it to the type of storm. We really don't need to do much more to this map. In this case, we can see different color of circles are being used for different kinds of storms. So I can clearly see that a thunderstorm is in red, whereas a tornado is in green. I can change the color of these and the size of these objects. If, for instance, I really want to see this tornado, I can change it to, for instance, a particular shape, such as, where are we here? Natural disasters, disasters. And I could find the tornado symbol, and I could make it really large so it really pops off the map. Don't forget to click OK and Done. The forest fire map has some problems with the data. You can clearly see that data is missing for certain provinces here. But if you're looking at, by and large, most of Canada, you can see that in 2010, it looks like, these are the individual forest fires that happened. Once again, not a particularly useful format. So what we want to do is we want to click on that change style. And interesting enough, for forest fires, we've got this heat map. And when we click on it, you can clearly see that the intensity of those forest fires, the closer the dots are together and the greater the quantity of those dots, will be given a more intense color, whereas the lighter color is used for a lower density and lower density of fires. So we can clearly see that things are not so great in the southern part of British Columbia, central part of Ontario. You can zoom in a little bit here. Whoops. However, you might find if you zoom in too much, the pattern is lost. Now, I must admit, this heat map is a really fun map to use, but it tends not to work so great with Chromebooks. And don't forget, with Chromebooks, you might have to click on the three little dots up here and change your zoom to 80%. Otherwise, some of these tools may not be visible. So try finding the Natural Events in Canada layer, turn on your earthquakes and switch it to a graduated symbol map. Then try making a heat map out of your forest fires and changing the storms so that each storm has a different color. Perhaps even try changing the symbol of the tornadoes so that you have the tornado symbol.